Hello, today is, well, would have been my mom's 67th birthday, and I'm going to make a pie that we used to make all the time together at holidays. It's called a chocolate dream pie, and it's basically a graham crust with a layer of a sweetened cream cheese, and then chocolate pudding layer, and then Cool Whip layer on top. And then you top it with chopped pecans. It's very tasty. I look forward to making it every year, and this year I decided to wait until my mom's birthday, since that's always a sad day for me since she's not around anymore. So I'm making it in a larger crust this time. The store didn't have the normal size crust. This one's a little larger. And I always like the cream cheese layer the best, so I'm using 2 blocks of cream cheese this time. Usually I just use 1 block of cream cheese, 2/3 cup of powdered sugar, 1 large box of instant chocolate pudding, and you make that with half as much milk as you normally would. So instead of doing 2 cups of milk, you just do 1 cup of milk. And with the cream cheese, you mix the powdered sugar, like I said, 2/3 of a cup for 1 block of cream cheese, and then 1 cup of Cool Whip mixed in with that, and that makes it nice and creamy. So I am going to begin making the first layer, and I'll check back here in a minute. Okay, so I've got my 2 blocks of cream cheese, and a little over a cup of powdered sugar for 2 blocks. I might even should have put a little bit more in it, but I think it'll be okay. And then a little bit more than a cup of the Cool Whip. Like I said, normally it's 2/3 a cup of powdered sugar, 1 cup of Cool Whip per 1 block of softened cream cheese. So I'm going to see if I can start mixing this up a little bit. It may go all over the place, and then I'll have to stop this video to do it properly. Softening the cream cheese beforehand definitely helps. Alright, I think I need my other hand for now. So this is the finished consistency of the cream cheese layer once you have mixed it up well with the hand mixer until it's all smooth. And then we'll just spread that into the bottom of the pie crust. So this is what it looks like once you get the cream cheese layer spread into the bottom of the pie crust. Now, I'll be honest, this one is a little fuller than it normally would be. Normally, like I said, the crust is a little smaller. I only use 1 block of cream cheese, but I really like this layer, so I don't think I'm going to be offended by having twice as much of it. So next we will make the chocolate pudding. Now a large size box usually requires 3 cups of milk, so I'll use 1.5 cups of milk instead, so that it'll be a little bit thicker and won't run once it's in the pie, and it'll set up nice and firm for when we cut it. So I have the chocolate pudding layer mixed up, and I'll just show you here. You see how it's a little bit thicker than you would normally have pudding, and that'll just help it be better for a pie filling, so that it's not too runny and it'll set nicely, so when you cut it, it won't lose its shape or just go spilling out all over the plate. So now we're just going to transfer this into the pie crust, and once we have that on there, we'll just spread it around evenly, and I'll come back and show you that once I'm done, because I kind of need both hands. So I've got the chocolate layer spread out, and so the next step will be to add the remainder of the Cool Whip on top. And then my mom liked to do this little trick with the spoon to make little peaks on the Cool Whip that just makes the pie look nicer. So once I get to that point, I will show you that part. So I got the Cool Whip mixed on here, or spread on here. as much as possible. Normally it's a little bit of a thicker layer, but because I had to use more in the cream cheese layer this time, it's not as thick. So basically, what my mom always used to like to do is just do this kind of thing with the spoon to make these little peaks. I think this is probably something similar that you would do if you were making meringue, to make the nice little peaks on it. It just adds a little bit of a decorative element, if you will, on there, and just makes it look a little more finished. And just do that until you're happy with how it looks. And then the finishing touch will be adding the chopped pecans on top. So you can add however many pecans you like. If you don't like pecans, you could probably do some walnuts. My mom used to use something called nut topping, and I think it was a mix of chopped peanuts and maybe some pecans or something. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think they have that in Canada, so, but that was what it was called at the grocery store in the States, nut topping, and it was delicious. But I like pecans a lot, so I will put a generous amount on here just to make sure every bite has a sufficient amount of pecans on it. And then we'll put it in the finished pie into the refrigerator for a couple of hours and just let it firm up a little bit before we slice and enjoy. So this is a chocolate dream pie, and I'll show you a slice of it later when I'm ready to eat it. So this is what the final pie looks like when it's sliced. Doesn't that look delicious? Can't wait to try it. I mean, I know what it's going to taste like, but anyway. Yeah, and so that's the first slice. Never looks the best, but look at all that deliciousness. Yum, yum.